Hello, hello! Today I was supposed to be playing some more of the Chronicles of the Lost Relic, but everything got messed up, and I don't remember exactly where I was. So I'm gonna play Trapped in the Museum instead, by Peter... Oh, I'm gonna butcher that. This guy. Trapped in the Museum is a solitary adventure you can play right now using the character provided below, Jamie Douglas, a sometimes absent-minded student at the City University, and a few six-sided dice. The adventure text itself incorporates rules for overcoming obstacles based on the classic D6 system developed by West End Games and made available through an open game license as OpenD6. All the rules you need are right in this book. This is available on itch.io. I think the suggested price was $1 or $2. And so $2 for a game that has everything you need, that's a steal. The text and numbered entries throughout the adventure will guide you, telling you how many dice to roll and interpreting the results. To begin your adventure in the museum, grab your dice and read the section called Meet Jamie Douglas. Hey, I'm a dapper young man. The character you'll be playing in Trapped in the Museum is a young college student, Jamie Douglas, who studies history at the City University. He's a tall, thin fellow who often has his nose buried in a book. He spends more of his time worrying about his grades than getting a date for Saturday night, although he's a somewhat handsome young lad. Besides taking a huge load of courses, he participates in the university fencing team. On the next page, a short capsule background and several Why can I not read? A short capsule background and several attributes, skills, and other stats describe Jamie as an open D6 game character. Attributes are natural abilities like reflexes, coordination, physique, presence, knowledge, and perception. Through education and experience, one learns skills associated with different abilities, like melee combat, investigation, and languages. Jamie has a die code for every attribute and many skills. Hey, my boy got skills! The die code shows the number of six-sided die you roll when Jamie uses the attribute or skill. If there's a +1 or +2 after the D, add that number to your total. For example, Jamie's perception is 3D plus 2, so if he tries to notice something, roll 3 dice and add 1 to the total. Add 2 to the total. That is a +2. Hope. Okay, so here's my stats. Jamie Douglas, curious college student. I got decent reflexes, good dodge. Not very coordinated. Relatable. Hey, I'm persuasive as heck, boy. Not very strong, though. Okay, nice. Jamie is only 20 years old, but nurtures a passionate curiosity in numerous historical periods during his studies at the City University. He has plenty of encouragement. His parents, aunts, and uncles have traveled the globe researching numerous cultures of the past. Before he goes into the field, Jamie knows he needs a solid academic foundation in the histories, cultures, and languages of ancient civilizations. Unlike many of his classmates, he cares more about his studies than the college social scene, although frequently immersed in his classwork with his gaze buried in a book. Jamie does take time out to keep himself in shape, training on the fencing team. After he graduates, he hopes to join one of his globetrotting relatives as a research assistant, seeing the world and putting his erudite knowledge to good use. All skills begin with the same die code as their respective attribute. For instance, even though he has no skills specifically listed under physique, Jamie can still use such related skills as lifting, running, and swimming by rolling 2D. Jamie has improved some skills through training and experience. These appear under their related attributes with a new die code to roll when using them: dodge, melee, combat, sneak, persuasion, languages, scholar, investigation, and search. For now, don't worry what actions you can do using certain attributes and skills. This adventure tells you when and what to roll. Those skill names are generally self-explanatory. We've taken some liberties with the Open D6 rules to streamline play and offer a beginner-friendly gamebook experience. Very, very nice. Thank you. So it goes more into depth about what the rules are and how to use them, but this solo scenario is what's sometimes called a programmed adventure. Don't read the entries straight through. They'll make no sense in straight sequence and give away the adventure's surprises. Entries describe what your character sees, and choices after each entry let you decide how your character acts given the situation. Begin by reading Stressful Semester Below. As a student at the City University, you've spent the past semester working hard to keep up with classes, maintain your grades, and pursue a few research projects of your own. You found some recreation by joining the fencing team, but as final exams approach, that group no longer meets. As the semester nears its end, you've been overwhelmed, finishing a paper on ancient Egyptian burial ceremonies and studying hard for a challenging final exam in classical Greek history and culture. Attempting to catch up on their own academic schedules, your professors have bombarded you with assignments and lectures, all crammed into these last weeks of the semester. When you're not sequestered in the City Museum's library conducting research, you're staying up late in your flat, reading and reviewing your notes. Mountains of books cover your desk, bed, and floor, from Homer's Iliad and Odyssey to various works of Wallace Budge on Egyptian hieroglyphs and religious practices. Your notes cover the entire room like a sandstorm of papers. The past few nights you've barely slept. You've either been up late studying or too worried about exams to sleep. Last night, you finally succumbed while writing the conclusion to your research paper on ancient Egypt. You had spread the pages out across the desk to review them one last time, but at this late hour they just looked like some white desert with the daunting cliffs of textbooks and reference tomes rising on the horizon. As your head slumped closer and closer to the pages, the letters wavered like some sun-scorched mirage, turning from recognizable characters into the stiff shapes of Egyptian hieroglyphs. Your pen slipped from your fingers and floated to the floor. With your head resting on the desk, the lamp seemed like the sun setting on the edge of the vast desert. You wake with a start. Like startle. Okay. A cold sweat covers your body. You shiver from the cool air around you and the cold, hard bed. In that drowsy fog that clouds your mind just after sleep, you don't recall crawling from your desk into bed. With all your recent sleep deprivation, you wonder if you can remember anything clearly. Perhaps you fell asleep in the museum library. But the librarians always wake you up and send you along at closing time. As your waking haze clears, you realize you can't possibly have fallen asleep and been locked in the library. You're wearing only your night clothes. You reach out with your hands and feel around in the darkness. Your bed is in fact some kind of stone slab with walls on all four sides. The pale blue aura of moonlight glows above you, illuminating the edge of these walls. Mustering your strength, you pull yourself up until you're sitting upright. In the dim light, you can just make out faces staring at you in stony silence, many towering above you. After a moment, you realize these faces belong to stone statues, upright coffins, and tomb paintings from the museum's Egyptian collection. You run your hands over your stone bed and suddenly realize you've been napping inside an open sarcophagus. Oh, that's so cool! This document, you can click what you choose. Wow, that's neat. Okay, so what do I want to do? Do I want to lower myself into the sarcophagus and try going back to sleep, hoping this is all just a nightmare? Or do I pull myself out? I'm going to pull myself out and explore my surroundings. So go to 8. Oh my goodness! That's so cool. Go to 8. You manage to pull yourself up out of the sarcophagus. The stone gallery floor is cold on your bare feet. As you survey your surroundings, you realize you're in one of the main Egyptian galleries. Several statues of pharaohs stand guard along one wall, while coffins decorated with the stylized features of the deceased stare back at you from another wall. A large human-headed sphinx reclines near your sarcophagus. Glass display cases contain jewelry, amulets, and small artifacts. Tomb paintings adorn one wall, the stiff figures seeming like ghosts in the moonlight shining through the high windows. You often visited these exhibits during the day, but in the dead of night, with no other people here and the frosty moonlight bathing everything, it feels otherworldly. You begin to wonder if anyone else in this city is even alive. Roll your perception attribute to see if you notice anything out of the ordinary. Just roll 3 dice, add them up, and add 2 to the total. That's so nice that it tells you so I don't have to scroll back and forth. Okay, so 3 dice. I got a 12 plus 2, so 14. That is higher than 10. So we go to 3. I love this. This is like a choose your own adventure, and it does the page flipping for you. That is neat. Okay. While examining your moonlit surroundings, you listen for any signs of activity. For a moment, you think you hear a faint, muffled scream coming from the museum lobby, but you're not sure if it's just a figment of your overactive imagination. You concentrate, hoping to hear the sound again. Instead, you notice something echoing down the corridor leading to the ancient Greek galleries. A low creaking sound, like bending metal, followed by the hollow clank of metal against stone. It starts and stops several times. So the options are, you head for the lobby to investigate the muffled cry and try finding some way out of the museum. You stroll off to the nearby ancient Greek galleries to investigate the strange metallic sounds, or you wander through the Egyptian galleries. Do I head towards the echo in the ancient Greek galleries? Do I go to the lobby where the scream was? I don't know if I want to go through the Egyptian galleries yet. I want to know what the strange metallic sounds are. So I stroll off to the nearby ancient Greek galleries to investigate the strange metallic sounds. Go to 19. You wander into the darkened galleries exhibiting ancient Greek art. Moonlight filtering through the windows and skylights illuminates pieces from the museum's collection. Columns and other architectural elements rescued from temple ruins. Bits of statuary mounted on podiums. A wall display of corroding short swords and glass cabinets filled with black and red figure vases. Other ceramic items. Your feet pad along the cold stone floor as you pass various displays. You often visited these exhibits during the day, but in the dead of night, with no other people here in the frosty moonlight, bathing everything, it feels otherworldly. I'm getting a sense that this place feels otherworldly. I begin to wonder if anyone else in this city is even alive. Spooky. Test your perception attribute. See if you notice anything amiss. Roll 3 dice, add them up, add 2 to the total. Got a 5, a 4, and a 1, so that's 10 plus 2 is 12. If you roll 10 or higher, go to 23. Ooh. As you near the entrance to the Greek galleries, you notice the statue of a Spartan warrior is missing from its pedestal. The bronze soldier usually guards the exhibit, often frightening little children with its imposing stance. The warrior stands tall in its plumed helmet, one arm drawn back to throw its spear, while the other points to some imaginary target. Now, it's nowhere to be seen. You look around for any sign of the bronze statue. Scrape marks in the stone floor seem to indicate where someone dragged it along from its post. You follow these marks until you discover the statue. It's standing only on its bronze feet, balanced precariously on nothing but the floor. It looks like someone positioned it pointing off toward the Egyptian galleries. You examine the statue for signs of damage and find none. It just stands there, spear still raised, helmeted head, still peering at the imaginary target. Right leg forward. That's odd. You could have sworn the statue was cast with its left leg in front. Please go to 25. While examining the Spartan warrior, you hear a metallic groaning and the bronze statue actually moves. It lurches forward, disengages the left leg from the floor, swings it forward and settles it on the stone floor with a dull clink. The statue has somehow become animated. You shake your head and try rubbing sleep from your eyes, as if this were just some twisted dream. But when you look up again, the statue continues its slow progress step by step toward the Egyptian galleries. The metal in its neck creaks as the statue turns its head to sneer at you. After looking you over, it turns its head forward and continues its slow, stiff march. Do I stand in the Spartan warrior's way? Find a weapon and attack the statue. Wait and see where the warrior goes. I don't feel like I, Jamie, would stand in the Spartan warrior's way. However, I'm part of the fencing team, so attacking it is an option, but also I'm very studious and inquisitive, so I might watch to see where it goes. Let's watch and see where it goes. This could be useful information. The bronze statue of the Spartan warrior looks at you once more, then turns its head to face forward. As you stand aside and watch the statue, it continues its slow but steady march through the ancient Greek galleries. Its feet make metallic scraping noises along the stone floor, and its joints creak with every step. Suddenly, a crash disturbs your concentration. It sounded like breaking glass coming from deep within the Egyptian gallery. You dash ahead of the Spartan warrior, making sure to stay out of his way, and run to the exhibit halls containing the ancient Egyptian collections. Please go to 12. 12? You dash through the Egyptian galleries, your feet slapping against the cold stone floor. You maneuver around immense statues, granite sarcophagi, and cases displaying smaller artifacts. When you hear sounds ahead, you stop short and take cover in the shadows beneath an archway to the mummy exhibit. Go to 20. 20. Peering out from the shadows beneath the archway, you watch as a strange scene unfolds before you. A ghostly figure stands illuminated in the moonlight, a young woman dressed in the gauzy linens and fine jewelry of an ancient Egyptian princess. The angry expression on her face does not diminish her beauty. She stands tall, pointing a menacing finger at several dark henchmen. Ooh. These figures have gangly, hunched bodies. You strain to see their faces, but all you notice are red coals burning where their eyes should be, long pointy ears, and a toothy snout. The creatures scurry around a vitrine, a tall glass display case used to protect several upright coffins. One intact glass panel stands open, apparently unsealed with some key. The clumsy creatures seem to have tipped an upright coffin over and through the display case. One of the ancient Egyptian sarcophagi lies on the floor, evidently pushed through the now shattered glass panel in front of it. Fools! The princess barks, scowling. If I wanted you to break the glass, I wouldn't have ordered you to steal the keys. Now take care and retrieve the coffin next to the one you nearly destroyed. Obeying the princess's commands, the creatures scurry and flap about, whining and snapping at each other while they maneuver the other sarcophagus out of the vitrine. They place it on the floor before the princess, who kneels beside it, praying in some eldritch language. When she rises again, she turns to her dark servants. Remove the lid, carefully, and bring the mummy along. What are you gonna do? You look in the nearby exhibits for a suitable weapon with which to challenge these thieves. You stay hidden in the shadows and continue to watch the ghostly princess and her ghoulish henchmen. You slip away in horror, trying to find a better place to hide. It would be interesting to watch and see what happens, but it also, like, I don't feel totally safe because there was also a noise in the entryway. So I'm going to slip away in horror, trying to find a better place to hide. 34. To wander off without arousing the notice of the princess or her beastly henchmen. Test your sneak skill. Roll 4 dice and add them up. I got 2 4s, a 3, and a 1, so 3 4s. That's definitely above 10. So I got 12. Go to 38. You run away from the princess and her ghoulish followers without attracting their notice. As you dash through the galleries, your eyes scan every exhibit, seeking some place that might offer you a safe refuge in which to hide. Finally, you found the perfect place. A comfy corner shielded from view by a giant Sphinx statue. Cowering behind it, you murmur to yourself, cover your ears with your hands, and hope all the strange happenings you witness would simply disappear. You close your eyes tighter and your breathing becomes heavier in your hysteria. Eventually, your body gives in to extreme fatigue. The last thing you remember before drifting off to sleep is your own voice in your head, convincing yourself that none of what you've just seen is real. I've just been dreaming. I've just been dreaming. Just dreaming. Dreaming. Please go to 57. 57. You wake up fully dressed and slumped over your desk, the same position in which you dozed off last night. Morning light streams through the window of your apartments. Sounds of the bustling city outside float through into the open window, and a slight breeze rustles the papers scattered across your desk. A slight breeze rustles the papers scattered across your desk. You shake your head in an attempt to dispel the cobwebs of sleep from your mind. As you go about your classes that morning, you try convincing yourself The strange events you experienced last night were all part of some twisted nightmare brought on by deep sleep and stress from the semester's activities. After attending your final classical Greek lecture, one of your classmates approaches you with that morning's paper. He shoves it into your hands and insists on hearing your opinion about the front page story. You take only a moment to read the headline and the lead paragraph. Museum theft, murder. Thieves broke into the city museum last night, murdered by the night watchman, and vandalized several exhibits in the ancient Egyptian galleries. Several artifacts were damaged or destroyed. Museum officials reported only one item missing: the mummy of an Egyptian official, Siptah, possibly a prince of the new empire's 19th dynasty. Authorities could not explain the motives behind the vandalism or why the potential thieves left without taking any other antiquities. Museum administrators would not elaborate on how the thieves entered the building. Your experience in the museum has reached an end. Please continue by reading further adventures below, or returning to stressful semester to explore this scenario again with different choices. It's going to take a second to reflect on that. I have so many questions still. It makes me want to play it again. So yeah, that's Trapped in the Museum. Well, thanks for watching, listening, however you consume your media. I really appreciate it. I love the choose your own adventure stuff. I like that it has a little bit more depth to it than that. And I like the setting. I love museums. Museums are super, super fun. But anyway, don't forget to be nice to people. I'll see you later.